our children, protecting our families. We're women for progress. We are impacting communities. We are changing communities. We are changing communities.
I have to give a shout out to Pastor Tanya Ware, who recorded that little jingle for us for Women for Progress. I love, love, love it. We are Women for Progress. Yeah. So
And
I love
changing
that.
communities.
Yes, changing communities. Yes, for sure. It's such a perfect jingle, and shout out to her if she's listening tonight for doing that for us. I'm so excited about our conversation tonight, and we have a lot to talk about. So I want to get right started. But I just want to remind our audience that's listening that we have started a new legislative session here in the city of Jackson and at the Capitol. So it's time to stay tuned with our ears and our eyes. And whenever you can, we want you to show up over there and we want you to sit in the galleries and listen in on the conversations. Also, you can get the link. And I'm sorry, I do not have the link with me, but I'll post it on our Facebook page. And maybe somebody listening tonight, I see somebody's already chimed in. So if you have that link, to the live feed, please put it in our comment section and we want to share that out. And if not, we'll get that done and post it on our Facebook page and make sure you have that. But we're going to stay, of course, right here at Women for Progress Radio Network. This is where you can continue to get updates on what's going on, the bills that's going to be coming out. We have Miss Angela Grayson, which is her, she's going to be relaunching her show, Truth to Power, where she's going to be coming on once a week and updating on us on what's going on behind the scenes and all the great bills to watch. Thank you all so much for coming in. I see right now, we have some folks that are chiming in. Thank you all so much for joining us tonight. Um, and Representative Jones, pronounce your first name for me, so I would not chop it up.
No worries. Good evening. It's Tamika.
Oh, okay, okay, I can handle that. I can handle that.
Very
Uh,
easy.
I have already started. I practiced already. I said I like Representative Jones, so that's what we're going to roll with
Thank
tonight. If
you.
you're okay with that.
I'm perfectly fine with it.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in with us tonight. I want to just remind you to share, like our page. We, of course, go live here every Thursday at 5:30 for the Women for Progress radio show. And please go to our website at womenforprogressradio.com where you can get a list of all of our radio shows and podcasts. I think we have a couple of new ones that may not be up yet, but we'll get those updated soon. But that's when you can chime in and make sure we're back live on our podcast networks also. So you can also get us anywhere you get your podcasts, and make sure that I'm live here. Anywhere you get your podcasts, we're going to be available there too on iHeart Radio, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Spreaker Radio, pretty much everywhere you can get your podcasts. We're going to be there. We also go live when we go live on our Facebook page. We're also live on YouTube at Women for Progress of MS Inc. Women for Progress of MS Inc. Usually you put in Women for Progress Radio and it'll pop up. A lot of if you missed some of our previous shows, you can get it there. You can get our previous shows also on our Facebook page. If you go to our Facebook page, Women for Progress MS, and click the video tab, all of our previous shows are there too. You can get us, and you can also get some of our older shows on Spreaker Network too. I was on it the other day, and gosh, we've talked to some amazing people across the country. So I'm excited about that. We're getting to a point where we're hopefully soon we'll have our Women for Progress Radio app available where you can download that app and then just get us all times of the day and night, even when you can't go to sleep at night. You said, pull up Women for Progress Radio. So thank you all so much for joining us tonight. I see those of you who have already jumped on board with us. Thank you so much. But let's get started in this conversation. And I don't have my resume here for Miss Jones, but I'm going to. What I want to let you know that we're talking tonight with Miss Tamika James Jones, who is the Mississippi House of Representative for District 51. She's also circuit clerk of Humphreys County and former justice court judge. So we're going to be talking an array of things tonight. And because I don't have not done my job and put her resume in front of me, I'm going to ask her to write for our conversation. I want to welcome you to the show, Representative Jones. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me, Ms. Jones. We are truly happy to be here. Um, we may be family and just don't know it, the Jones and Jones and Company, but hey, it works out well. And
That's
again, I thank you so much for having me.
Well, good. Now, I want to start first. Just tell us a little bit about yourself, Tameka. I really want you to tell us about really what inspired you to pursue a career in politics and community service, and kind of how you got to this role of Mississippi House of Representative. I think if we start there, we'll get a little background in there also.
Absolutely. Well, yeah. So, believe it or not, well, I hail from Humphreys County, Mississippi, Belzoni, the heart of the Delta, and we pride ourselves on that. Right there, Highway 49, northwest of Jackson. We are so very proud to be the heart of the Delta. Sometimes the Delta is overlooked, but we have great things going on in the Mississippi Delta. I will tell you that my little town is famous for its annual catfish festival every
Mhm.
single year. And in years past, we've even had what's called the Buffalo Fish Festival. So
Wow.
we've had visitors and tourists to come from all over the world to little bitty Belzoni. Belzoni has only about 2,600 residents, but we're proud 2,500. Trust that. My politics, it's a part of my DNA. My father has been in the political arena, public service for all that I can recall. I will tell you, Mr. Browder, as everybody knows him in Belzona, Lawrence Browder served as the first African American to serve on the Board of Aldermen for the city of Belzona. And from there, he actually won as the first African American chancery clerk of Humphreys County. And
Wow.
and so from there, sitting around the table having conversation about the Guan zone, as he would say, um, eating catfish almost nightly. That was a spark. That was definitely the spark. Um, but this started personally with me probably about 1999, I want to say. Um, the Humphreys County Board of Supervisors realized that we had a opening, and I say an opening because the current sheriff was planning to retire and run. The current justice court judge, should I say, was planning to retire so that he could run for the office of sheriff. And being a young deputy clerk in the circuit clerk's office, I was approached and said, and folks said, "Would you like to serve as the justice court judge?" And I was almost like, "Who, me?"
Yeah.
But after talking over with my husband, talking it over with my church members, praying about it really long and hard, I accepted the offer, and I was appointed as the first justice court judge, female
Yeah.
African American justice court judge in Humphreys County. And after the appointment in March of that year, it was also election season. Uh, we ran and we were successful and victorious and won. And in that service, it was truly an honor to serve the people's in the people's court, because justice court is definitely
Yeah.
exactly that, people's court, the people's court.
Mhm.
Um, and so we were there for a full term. And almost the same thing happened again after that was completed. The circuit clerk at that time Mr. Charles Tate says, I'm about to retire. And I think this next level of the courts is awaiting for you to be a part of it, and we need your leadership. And I said, only if you promise to support. And he said he would. And we just began working, collaborating, having conversations, having the vision for what was really the, we always pride ourselves in saying the most important office
Mm-hmm.
of all public offices, because we're a part of the elections.
Yeah.
When anyone gets ready to qualify to run for office, they always come to the circuit clerk's office. So
Yeah.
we were ready. We were ready and we were successful. But to tell you how, and I served as the circuit clerk for 20 years. For 20
Wow.
years,
Wow.
I was there. And we had great improvements. We had great strides. Had We worked to bring our intern voter program with our students, our high school students who were first time voters and first time poll workers. We wanted to make sure that we had as many young people to be involved with the elections process, because we knew we understood and knew how and know how important it is that individuals participate in the elections process, because we know that your voice is through your vote.
Mm-hmm.
We understood how powerful it was to share and to educate our young boys and girls to be a part of the elections process and the voting process. Um,
Yeah. And
yes,
also in a small town, especially a delta town, you want to make sure that you continually, fuel the pipeline for good representation, because small cities, they need that support. They need somebody rallying at the capital for them. Yeah.
absolutely. And that include, of course, whether it was school board, whether it's, your municipal boards, your mayor positions, for even your levy board positions. A lot of people don't even think about your levy board commissioners and
Right.
those individuals having to run for public office. So it was very important for myself and my team to work tirelessly to make sure that children were a part of the elections process. We even implemented bringing the actual voting machines to our local schools, both the high school, the public school, and the private school, so that they would learn how to actually vote. We had young students that were voting for Mr. and Miss O.M. McNair Middle School on the voting machines, and voting for Mr. and Miss High School on the voting machines, that they would actually, use when they were voting for the president, when they got of age to vote for the president. So we actually were very, very happy and prided ourselves on that. However, to get to where we are now, um, Humphreys County, of course, is a very small county in the Delta. And it is very unfortunate that at this moment in 2023, 2024, 2025, that there is not urgent care or emergency care in our county.
Right.
And my story is very personable and personal because it truly is. With that being said, my niece by marriage was actually one of the young ladies that succumbed to um, who transitioned. Let's just say it like that. Um, there on the side of the road, Highway 49, 4 days from delivery, her baby girl, full term pregnancy, um, who was full of energy, full of life, had so much potential in growing and being a vibrant part of our community uh, was simply whisked away in the late night hours of July 5th. And, um, and it was simply because there was no emergency care, no urgent care, no ambulance in Humphreys County. And after her mom and family rallied and petitioned the board of supervisors and others, the powers to be, there seemed to have been such a lag and almost a nonchalant attitude about not having and the lack of healthcare in our community.
Yeah.
That was the flame. That was not a spark. That was a flame.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
was on fire, and I said, "Somebody, we got to do something,
Yeah.
and we've got to have representation in this community, in this county, so that we can bring, if nothing more, a voice to our community." And
Yeah.
so, there the story begins in my journey to the Mississippi State Capitol. And I'm praying and working every day to make sure that not just Humphreys County, not just the 51st district, but the entire state of Mississippi, that we are having our voices and our concerns heard at this Mississippi State Capitol.
Yeah, and healthcare remains, it doesn't matter if you're a business owner or if you're a parent or you just part of the community. Healthcare is one of our most crucial issues still in our state, and it's crazy that we're still having these same conversations year after year about expanding Medicaid, about supporting hospitals that are in rural communities like yours, where people are dying every day, where we have birth rates for women that continue to be horrible. I mean, here we are in 2025, and we're still talking about women being able to safely have a child.
Mhm.
I mean, this with all the technology that we have out there, all the new medicines, all of the new everything that we have around healthcare, because of lack of access
Mhm.
in many of these communities, women, both young and older, are dying from childbirth, or if they're not dying from childbirth, they're having substantial complications. And we just cannot have that. It is just something, this is a conversation has got to end with access, got to end with making sure we put dollars into some of these hospitals or build new hospitals or clinics or emergency facilities, even building emergency facilities, because that would have been something that your relative would have been able to have access to, at least that emergency care that could
Yes.
have maybe stabilized her until she got to somewhere else, beyond her area. So I'm so glad, and I thank you so much, Representative Jones, for sharing that story, because we talk a lot about why this is an important issue, but you have put a testimony to it and a story to it and brought it home. And I think many of us, hopefully not have your particular story to tell, but similar ones. Even if it's you don't have health care at all, and you don't go to the doctor,
Mhm.
and you self-medicate at home. And for many of us, when we talk about workforce and economic development, where those workforces being challenged in your particular area too, because if you don't have good health, you can't go to work. Or if you go to work because you say, hey, I got to make a paycheck, so you're going to work while you're sick, we're going to work where you got issues going on, where you need to be seeing a doctor, you got to go because you got to make a living. And then when you get to work, you're not as productive. So now the business suffers because
That's right.
they have staff, and they have a workforce, a skilled or unskilled workforce that is unhealthy.
That's
So I mean, so when we talk about this issue about healthcare, it's everybody's issue.
full
uh
circle.
yeah. It's economic development, it's workforce development, it's business owners who wants to be innovative. We want our businesses to expand their capacities. We want to create new entrepreneurship opportunities. We want to make sure that our participation rate still is, even though it's we got a little tilt on the participation rate national on a statewide level, we're still not where we need to be on getting adults in the workforce. So our participation rate needs to increase some, and one way we can do that is make sure people are healthy, they have access to health care. And so so look, you done hit a bell with me when it comes to that. as
Oh,
a
yes,
workforce
ma'am.
as a workforce developer, I mean, I talk to employers every day that are challenged, saying, Miss Jones, I can't afford to give my to get, sometimes I'm losing good people because I can't afford to contribute to healthcare because of the cost of it. You know what
That's
I'm
right.
saying? And so and that's some mid-sized businesses are having that challenge too. So
Absolutely.
I'm so glad that you're in the Capitol fighting for this. I think you have a unique perspective that you can share with the other legislators that are there and help them understand why this is so very, very important, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. And thank you so much for that. Indeed. And so when we talk about not only just, when we're talking about moms being healthy, but babies, because Harmony also lost her baby. And we know that we have infant mortality death that's that's soaring, and
Mhm.
that should not be in 2025. And the state of Mississippi, we're talking about women rights, and we're talking about women's reproductive rights and reproductive freedoms and justices. But if you're continually to not fund and not provide for women and children in this state, then I almost want to say, what are you talking about?
Yeah,
What are you talking about?
yeah.
Provide the resources for our communities, for our families to survive and to thrive. That's where we should be. And that's why I'm here. Not It's just not about me, but the folks that are here fighting for the right things. The
Right.
right things.
And you're right. And also, when you talk about those issues around women and children, I mean, it's everything.
It's
And so we need a Pacific healthcare policy in the state that says this is our healthcare policy. This is what we envision for women and families, and here's this is how we're going to fund it. You
absolutely.
know, we need to be real intentional about it, and that's, I think, I am going to talk a little bit about some things that you might be working on in the house. But while we're on the subject, is there any specific bills or legislation this session that you are supporting or have introduced?
Absolutely, yes. So, of course, we are working tirelessly on making sure that our moms are taken care of. And I will tell you that we are introducing a bill to eliminate diaper taxes,
Mm,
because we know diapers are so expensive. So we want to make sure that moms and dads are able to continue to buy Pampers and diapers for their babies. It's very important. And the cost are astronomical.
mhm.
If you're like me, although my baby daughter is 27 years old, I knew how expensive it was 27 years ago. So
Right.
I've seen the prices for Pampers, diapers, you know, baby formula. This it's it's really it's egregious almost. And so definitely I've had that bill to be introduced. Working, of course, with several local projects. Our county, Humphreys County and Sharkey County, of course, we were hit with a terrible tornado and with a disaster from 2023. So we have several special projects that we're working on, and hopefully this will help to galvanize and to give resources to our area so that we will be able to flourish again. When I say the heart of the Mississippi Delta, we are the heart of the Mississippi Delta. And of course, we definitely would need resources in order for us to flourish again. So definitely that working tirelessly again, working toward early voting.
Mm-hmm.
Mississippi deserves early voting without a doubt. It just behooves my mind, while we always got to be last in the most important issues that face America. You know, voting is, it should be a given, nothing that we have to fight for. But unfortunately, in the state of Mississippi, we have to. Um, this past legislative session, we had an opportunity to work with the circuit clerks and the election commissioners across the state of Mississippi to simplify, in a way, the absentee voting process. And notice I said absentee. That means that people have to have an excuse to come in to vote early.
Mm-hmm.
But so we eliminated the actual application, separate application. The application is now on the envelope, but it is at this point in 2025 that we should have, early voting. No one should have to have an excuse to go in and cast their vote. It should be an automatic given. Not only with that, we're working on legislation for restoration of voting rights.
Mm-hmm.
When individuals have served, they've given all that they've supposed to give to the state of Mississippi, restore their rights automatically. Voter
Mm-hmm.
restoration, that should be a given. So definitely those are the high priorities for me, uh, and so many of my other colleagues.
What is your participation in voting in Belzoni? I mean, you mentioned 2,600 population there. I mean, is everybody going? Is there 2,600 going out to vote? And surprise me with my answer, with your answer. Okay.
Oh, I wish I could. I'm so sorry. I wish I really could. Um, we're only probably at about 33, 35% voting turnout. That's unacceptable.
Right.
In 2025, that's absolutely unacceptable. As we already are faced with the difficulties, and I will say a difficulty because I live in rural Mississippi. I know that there are individuals that absolutely do not have identification, and that is truly a block in folk coming out to vote. When
Mm-hmm.
they realize that they've got to go to the DMV, which is 50 miles away in
Wow.
any direction, or should I say, for us, maybe 65 miles in any direction, to go to get a state ID in order to go to the polls to vote, that's a huge hindrance.
Mm-hmm.
So, we've got to make sure that individuals are just given their God given right to participate in the elections process without any barriers, without any stumbling blocks. So, we're hoping and praying that with having the access to the ballot box, that this will be spread across the state of Mississippi through our early voting, and of course, with our restoration of voting rights.
And it has to be a plus to have someone like you who you look like many of the voters in your district, and they see you, as an African American woman who has been a trailblazer in your particular area. I mean, you've held some of the most crucial roles to community with Hinds County Justice Court position, and also with the circuit clerk's position. So that's got to be a motivating force also. So my next question, I'm skipping down some because everything is getting so good, as my grandson you always say, is that when we talk about your particular district and your population that you're serving, I think, of course, access to workforce development and opportunities are so crucial. So if those who are listening right now that might be economic developers, they may be business owners, they may be individuals who have certification training for people to get to work. Workforce development myself, we have a CDL program. I'm going to talk to you about coming to Belzoni, and let's talk about putting the CDL curriculum into high schools, which we're doing right now. So look, I got real motives for you having this conversation
Yes,
today.
we're
So,
ready. We're
yes,
open for business. We're
good,
ready. Come
good.
on.
Good. So I'm excited about that. So those who may be listening that has those opportunities, where do you see the needs are around your community? I know you said, well, hey, our cup is, our your doors is open, and we need everything. But talk about some of the really specific things that and opportunities in Belzoni for those of us who are listening.
Well, absolutely. So, yes, ma'am. Indeed, when I say the doors are open, the doors are open. Uh, Humphreys County, of course, we are a little small Delta community, and of course, it's unfortunate, but we come from a community where at that point, cotton was king.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Mm-hmm.
if it wasn't cotton, it was catfish, and that's no longer there. So when we say, workforce developers, whether it's bringing in phlebotomist classes, whether it's bringing in, our cosmetology courses, all STEM programs, we're working with our local schools so that we can expand the STEM program. So, technical classes, all of those components are needed in our areas. We know that Amazon is coming to Mississippi.
Mm-hmm.
We want our students to be ready. We want our workforce to be ready, so that when these opportunities arise, we want to be able to go to work. We want to go to work healthy. We want to go to work sound. We want to go to work whole, all of those opportunities. So when you talk about workforce and coming, one of the proposals that we've been talking about recently is having collaborations, because right now we know that it seems as if on the state level, we're getting things done in regional conglomerates. So
Mm-hmm.
whether it's working with Yazoo County or Holmes County or Sharkey County with the local leaders in order to work together to have a collaboration, and offering workforce development and offering, all gamuts, that's going to be the ticket. That I think that's going to be the ticket for
Mm-hmm.
us. It's
Mm-hmm.
going to take each of us working together in order to promote ourselves, especially in the Mississippi Delta. We talk about regional hospitals. That's been an issue, that's been, thrown out there. So even if it is a regional hospital, fine, but make sure that each and every county has the opportunity to have his or her input, that his or her county will have the access to whatever it is. Like I said, whether it's a component of healthcare, whether it's education, all of us working together, we know that we will be able to have a package that will be delivered for all of our constituency in the area.
And I'm talking to women also in many, many areas to talk to, a lot of our women's are women owned businesses. They are trainers, there's career coaches, there are all these type of people. Is for us as women is what can we work on together? So women coming together and say, let's look at finding a central location in the Delta and put up a workforce center where you might bring in, like you said, phlebotomy, and somebody else brings in nursing, somebody else bring in, like me, CDL certification training, somebody else brings in a welding program, someone else like Mississippi Coding Academy, who's now putting their footprint across the state in so many unserved and underserved areas. We have a new location in Cleveland that we just launched last year. And so there is opportunities. We're now in Natchez, Mississippi, Jackson, North Mississippi, Gulf Coast, and everywhere. So finding, like you said, a regional location where we can find something that's drivable distance for everybody. So people coming from the west, people coming from the south and north, and have a central drivable location you can come. But most significantly is not enough. And I say, folks, every time, workforce development, the key component is finding that pathway to jobs. Because if
Absolutely.
I don't know, I'm sure young people, especially Generation Z's or X's and whatever they are, like, okay, I'll take this certification class. It's going to take me 4 weeks or 6 weeks or 6 months or 12 months. But what is my guarantee on the other side? So
Absolutely.
make sure when it comes to workforce development, especially in rural communities, because we need a job yesterday, okay?
That's
It's
right.
making sure that I'm going to graduate on Friday and I'm going to be at work on Monday. And so,
Absolutely. Say
yeah,
it, sister.
yeah.
And
So,
we've been even tossing around to start small. Belzona, downtown Belzona has lots of empty buildings. We fortunately, but unfortunately, we have so many uh, great cooks that are just cooking out of their home. You
mhm,
know, we have folks that are still doing hair in their home.
mhm,
And so we've wanted to pitch an idea, have one of our vacant buildings in downtown Belzona, divided in fours, and come in there, and you can get your hair done, pick up you
mhm.
a meal, get your blood pressure checked,
Yeah.
or whatever,
Pick up
all
a
under
cake
one
for
roof.
dinner.
Do
Yeah.
you see what
Yeah.
I'm saying? But
Yeah.
these are all opportunities for development and for growth. So
Mhm.
we've got to start somewhere.
Yeah.
We've
Yeah.
got to start someplace, and what better time as it is now for us to learn to trust each other?
Yeah.
Because I hear my the president of NAACP, the Honorable Derek Johnson, he says it all the time. We all we got.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
all we got. Not we're all that we have. No, we all we got. So
Mhm.
we've got to, learn to trust each other, and learn to say that, my sister, let's do this, and let's do this
Yeah.
together,
Yeah.
because that's the way we can grow. That's the way we can see ourselves, pushing forward. And like I said, if we can start on the lower level, this thing can grow, and it can be bigger than we've ever, could imagine.
Yeah, you're exactly right. And everybody would benefit from it. So,
That's right.
when we talk about creating generational wealth and opportunities, everybody should be getting a piece of the pie, you
That's
know.
right.
And so,
Domino effect.
yeah, yeah, and we put all of our talents and resources together, we can definitely make sure that that happens. So, I want to back up a little bit. This has been really good, and thank you again for joining us tonight. And because this is good information. I also want this to be an opportunity to inform voters. And you've been sitting in such crucial roles as Hinds County Justice Court and
Humphrey.
also in the circuit court role. Now, are you still in one of those positions?
I'm no longer the circuit clerk, but my husband is the new circuit clerk in Humphreys County.
I like that passing the baton. That's great. That's
Yes, absolutely. So the work continues all the time.
yeah.
Yes, my husband is the newly elected circuit clerk and county registrar in
Okay,
Humphreys County, and I've served as the justice court judge in Humphreys County. Yes,
great. So
yes,
tell us a little bit about the role and responsibility of a circuit clerk because it's
absolutely.
crucial to our everyday lives, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, first and foremost, I will tell you, you all have a fantastic circuit clerk in Zach Wallace. He is always working tirelessly here in Hinds County. Dear friend of mine, and he represents the Circuit Clerks Association as the circuit clerk of Hinds County. Well, but I will have to say, Zach, Humphreys County is on the rise. My husband, I got to give it to him.
He's
He
working
has
hard.
wonderful ideas, and he is bringing them to the table and bringing them to our community. Indeed, the circuit clerk's role is extremely important. As I mentioned before, this is where it began. So if you're in county government, when you start out to qualify, you go to the circuit clerk's office. When you are 18 years, and we used to say when you're turning 18, but now if there's a primary election that's going on in your district and you're 17, so if you are of voting age, we
Hmm.
say go to register, and you can go and start right there in your county courthouse at the circuit clerk's office. It's so important that individuals know who the circuit clerk is, and of course, go and register. Not only with that being said, but everything is one portion of the circuit clerk's office is definitely connected to the other, because once an individual goes to at that same time that they become an individual that could actually be a part, I'm sorry, our jury. It's linked to jury service, which is so important in our
Hmm.
communities. So, uh, do not want to serve on jury duty, but it is so crucial that call to our civic duty. We always talk about so serving as a juror. I remind jurors all the time. Point. It could be you or I that will be sitting at that table, uh, and it could be in a civil matter, or it could be a criminal matter. And who do you want to hear your case? You want to have a opportunity to have not just a jury of competent jurors to serve on the jury. And where do we get our jury? Our voter rolls. And
Yes.
voter rolls are so important that we remain working with our election commissioners to make sure that they're maintained. All of that is a part of the responsibility of your circuit is to the
Yeah.
right of your circuit court judge, right there. And so it you have a circuit clerk and a county registrar who is active and creative ways to make sure that they are educating our voters, whether it's uh, um, having our I want to say like our poll workers training that are open to the public, come in and learn, whether it's candidates training, whether you want to be a candidate for office, all of those opportunities are part of the circuit clerk. You we want to make sure, you know, have those choices, have those choices.
How are you, Representative Jones, engaging your community around these issues? You're now, at the Capitol in this position as their state representative for District 51. How are you engaging the community and making sure that they stay tuned in and that they're connecting the dots to the policy to their pocketbooks?
I'm so sorry. I think we have a little bit of internet
Yeah, I see we're getting a little
break. Could you repeat
feedback.
that question? I'm sorry.
Okay. So how are you connecting with your constituents and making sure that they stay tuned in to what's happening at the Capitol? They understand the policies that the legislators are talking about and they're engaging in the process. How are you doing that with your constituents?
Well, one of the things we have to realize is that first and foremost, um, they hold. I tell folks all the time, it's not ours. It's not about me. My constituents. So that means staying connected. When we on a lighter note, when you're out there, stop campaigning. And so when you keep that in mind, that means that you're staying connected, continuously going to your meetings, being accountable for at your with your boards, whether it's having conversations with your board of aldermen, your mayors. Black folks, we talk through our churches for years. Need to, we know that all of the meetings were held on the ground floor and in the back door. You have to continue those conversations. We have to make sure we keep our children engaged. So does that mean going to the school? Yes. Does that mean having public forums? Yes. Town halls? Yes. All of those opportunities. That's how you stay connected. Whether it's doing live radio streaming, whether you're on your local radio station, putting the articles in the newspaper, being open to all of the opinions. There are going to be folks that have opinions opposite of what you would think or what you know to be, but you have to have conversations at all times. I tell folks all the time, go and sit at the local McDonald's and talk to your folks because they're coming in, they want to know what's going on. So whether you're reaching the masses in a broad area, or whether you're having small, continued conversations in intimate settings, all of those opportunities are very important. Stay
And we
engaged.
know that we know that they'll only take one strong voter to make a difference. So every single vote counts for sure.
Everyone.
Yeah. And we have just a few more minutes left, but I want to get one or two more questions in. At least one more question is I want you to speak to the young people that are listening, the young women, young men. What would you share with them about if they're having interest in public service or community service in many of these roles, whether it be wherever we sit and stand, we need so many great leaders. Would you say to those who might be interested in getting into public service?
Absolutely. Be bold. I say that all the time. Be bold. As a young appointee for a justice court judge, I was, of course, I had the hits of folks saying, "Oh, she's too young," or "She's not ready for this." You can get ready while you're in the role. you
Yeah,
you you will be you every day is a learning experience and a learning opportunity. Be bold. We have got to get out of hindering our young people. This is their time to flourish, and young people just do it, as Nike would say in its theme or whatever. Just do it.
yeah,
Uh, but in the meantime, prepare and then do it.
yeah,
So whether that means actually knowing what the position is, we got folks that run for office uh, to say that they're going to qualify and run for the constable and don't have the slightest idea what the role of the constable
that's
or the
right.
coroner is.
That's right.
So make sure that you are preparing yourself. And I didn't say that you would be totally prepared, because truly you learn every day.
Yeah,
Every experience, every moment is a learning experience.
yeah,
So, but begin to prepare right now. So whether that means being a part of SGA, being a part of your going to your board meetings, going to school board meetings. Young
yeah,
people don't realize that they have a voice. Even if you're in high school, go to your school board meeting. Your superintendent has to listen to the voice of their students at their schools.
right.
If you are contemplating, public service, start now. Um, just being active in your community. Listen, have that conversation with one who has been in public office for a long time, but at the same time realize that once you step out there, it's
Mhm.
like Pandora's box. You
Yeah,
got to be
you're in
you
it
can't
now, as they
close it.
say.
That's right. So
And
you
I like that. And
for
even like you said, even if they showed up at PTA meetings and talked about what they're about maybe something going on in their school that they would
absolutely,
like to see change. That's where you want to start. So there's so many
absolutely,
ways. But we as parents also have to make sure that we're informed so we
That's
can continually encourage our children and our grandchildren for success. So I think that's important too. So, and thank you so much, Representative Jones, for being a leader in this particular area. And we look forward to engaging with you in Humphreys County, in the catfish capital. Now, when is those festivals? Catfish Festival. You mentioned buffalo fish, which I love, buffalo fish. What time of the year is that happening? So we can so kind of mark it on our calendar. Okay.
Absolutely. The Catfish Festival is always the first Saturday in April, and it's the
Oh my goodness.
springtime, and so the weather is normally pretty good. Now we've no longer had our Buffalo Fish Festival, but I understand that there has been a group that's going to collaborate to bring it back in homage of Reverend, our very own Reverend Ronald Myers. Dr. Myers. Dr. Myers has been very instrumental. He was very instrumental in working with our Juneteenth celebration and bringing light to it. Its celebration. So we want to make sure that we work to get our Buffalo Fish Festival going on.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, the Buffalo Fish Festival, it would be on the same day as our Catfish Festival. So
Good.
people had an opportunity to leave from one side of town and go to the other side of
Right.
town. You know, the Catfish Festival, it was, and it is always been with several vendors and all kinds of artists, artwork and handcrafts. And you go over to the Buffalo Fish Festival, and we would have Bobby Rush and Marvin Cease and all of this cultural experience going on, and it would just be a huge, and it is a huge day of
Yeah.
fun and activities. So do mark your calendars for the first Saturday in April, and come on in Belzona, Mississippi, in the heart of the Mississippi Delta, right there, a spot on Highway 49 headed north.
Well, we're going to put you on the calendar to come back to talk about that, and we want to come to Belzoni to celebrate that. And there is never a bad day to eat catfish. I'm telling you, and I know the Belzonians. I know how to do it right.
You
Okay.
still know what to say, sister.
Yeah, yeah. So we look forward to that. Now, as we wrap up, thank you again, Representative Jones, and look, we love you. We
Thank
wish so much success for you. We just want to. I'm going to bring in Mr. Michael Morris for a couple of minutes to talk about some things for MLK Day as we wrap up. But I do want to tell you that make sure that you put Women for Progress in your Rolodex. Consider us a resource. We're always supporting you and championing you and cheering you on, and we're keeping our eye on you. But never fail to call on us if you have a topic that you want to talk about. Of course, we've connected you to our executive producer, the most incredible executive producer on the planet, Miss Juanita Brown, who's been with us this year, celebrating 15 years of service to Women for Progress Radio. So I know she has you in, she's added you to her list. And so we'll continue to reach out to you also. And so we look forward to engaging you. We'll follow up on the workforce development piece and economic development piece, because we want to walk the walk and talk the talk. We just don't want to come on there and make this stuff sound good. Let's
you.
see what we can make happen. So by the next conversation we have, we say, hey, we've started something in the high schools in Belzoni.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, so I'm excited about that. And Mr. Morris, are you ready to? I see him on and in the living room. Let me get him on. And if you want to stay on for just a minute,
Sure.
Representative, and get this. Hello, Mr. Morris, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. Can y'all hear me pretty well?
Yes, we can. And
Good,
thank you
good,
so much for jumping on, and we're calling on you. I know at a late hour, and but you got some exciting things going on this weekend for
good.
MLK Day, and we got to have families and everybody who's coming into town and live in town to be able to take advantage of those opportunities. So tell us about what's going on this weekend.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks to FedEx, They've sponsored admission to the museums from January the 18th, Saturday, January the 18th, all the way through Tuesday, January the 21st. And
Mm.
so we're really excited about that. It's an opportunity for every Mississippian to come and visit our state history and civil rights museums right there in downtown Jackson. And so I expect to see folks from as far as way as Belzoni, Ms. Jones, and all around the state to come and visit those museums on that day.
Yes, and I know you all always have some amazing programming. Of course, the museum itself is just state of the art. And
No,
if you
thank you.
haven't been there, I mean, it's a great opportunity to spend a day there. And then, of course, surrounding the museum, there's amazing restaurants that people can eat and take their families. I mean, don't have me start telling you where to go. I would just because I'm gonna miss somebody, but I'm gonna shout out. Char is one of my favorite places to eat. They have some great job. The Pig and Pint in Fundren is a great place if you want some good barbecue. My goodness. If you want
Absolutely.
some great coffee for your coffee drinkers, you got to check out Cups. They have several locations across, and Soleil Coffee,
So,
which is
like,
right
yeah.
there in Fundren, is
Hmm.
a great place. PJ's Coffee is a great place. There's so many amazing places to go eat. Johnny T's on Fatter Street. I'm telling you,
Absolutely.
Johnny
Absolutely.
T's burns it up. Okay, all
You're making me hungry, Miss Jones. You're making me
I
hungry.
know. I'm hungry now.
yeah, yeah. So many amazing places I can't even tell you. But let me tell you where you get all the tea. You go to Visit Jackson. You go to
Yes.
visitjackson.com. And if you all you got to say things to do in Jackson. So
Hmm.
once you visit the museum, check out the museum first. We want you to swing
Right.
by there. And you all have an amazing gift shop there too
Hmm.
that people just gotta go to. If you're looking for a unique gift, you want to go to your museum shop. I every time I go there, there's got to be something that I'm picking up, and I bought some really amazing things that I sent to relatives all across our country, and it's a really great place for you to be there. And
Hmm.
what other things that can they look out for there, Michael?
Yeah, yeah. During this weekend, a lot of folks may or may not know, but this is the 60th anniversary of the passage of the Voting Rights Act.
Mm,
And so
That's
we're
right.
going to have some
That's right.
special themed tours about the Voting Rights Act. There's a lot going on in this country. And so we thought that this would be a good opportunity to bring attention to the struggle for voting rights that took place right here in this state.
Absolutely.
And so
Mhm.
we're going to have special tours through the museums, kind of talking about that. And then on Monday night, this is MLK Day. Every year we have what we call our MLK Night of Culture. And it's an opportunity from young people from, again, all across the state to come to the museums and perform in their own way, whether
wow.
that's singing,
Mm.
playing music, playing the guitar, spoken word. We allow folks to just come in and use our stage to just really honor Dr. King, but also the veterans of the Mississippi Civil Rights Movement with their gifts, with their talents. And so we're really
Wow.
excited about that. We
That's so
usually,
exciting.
I'm taking notes.
See, I might
okay.
get out some lemon drops. I ooh get my humming on.
And the thing is, Ms. Jones, it's real similar to our partnership on the Kwanzaa program.
Mm,
We
Yes.
usually have more than 350 people show up. And so I
Yes.
always tell folks you want to get there as early as possible. The program
Absolutely.
and what
starts at
time did that
6.
start on Monday night?
It starts at 6 o'clock.
Okay.
The doors are open at 5. And so you just want to get down there so you can get a good seat and really just enjoy the show.
Well, thank you for sharing that. And I tell you, I want to thank you again for being a long-term partner for our
Absolutely.
Kwanzaa. I mean, my goodness, without you all may help us make it excellent. We again had over 350 people from all from about 4 or 5 state area that came in and participated. We thank everybody for coming out. And you all have been one of the fabulous partners that we have, and we thank you so much for your support. You always say yes, 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 and so thank you so much for that. But
We're
remind
honored to do it. Yes,
Thank
ma'am.
you. And shout out to FedEx for
Yes,
sponsoring this. Oh my goodness. We thank you for
absolutely.
being a not only a workforce partner in City of Jackson, Hinds County, and the state of Mississippi, but thank you for thanks FedEx for supporting our culture. Thanks to support of families, and I want to say to people, if you have a community group of seniors. This is a great outing for them to come out and be able to have a really great time and be able
Hmm.
to reminisce, because many of our seniors have been through these particular times and these that's part of the tour. So it's a great time for you to bring your senior groups, your young people groups. If you have some Girl Scout troops, if you have some women's ministries in your church, men ministry in your church, young people, bring them out. And it's free. It's
It is.
free. So
Hmm.
bring everybody. Roll them in if they're in the wheelchair. You know. There's a lots of space at the museum, so you're not going to be
Absolutely.
be crunch. And it's a safe place to be also, that has
Absolutely.
full security and stuff there. So thank you so much, Michael, for
Yeah.
sharing that with us, and we'll continue to share it out and get as many people there as possible.
Thank you so much, Ms. Jones, for your partnership and everything that you do. I
Yeah,
appreciate
thank
you.
you so much. Representative Jones, it's been a lovely, lovely evening. I almost
Indeed.
want to go to the stove and get a cup of tea and give you tell you who in person. I
Well,
feel like you've been in
yeah,
my kitchen today. So
that's right.
yeah, yeah. But thank you so much. And we just want to lift you up, and we wish you much success for this legislative session. And look, go get it, as they say. All right. Thank
Hey,
you so
it's
much.
for the people. It's for the
Yeah.
people.
Thank you. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Good night, everyone. Thank you
Good
for
night.
joining in. Bye bye.
Thank you. Good night.